Guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, background, and thumbnail, we are talking about the latest horror movie in the poohniverse, Pinocchio Unstrung. So, to give you a little bit of a history of how I feel about this franchise, I am not the biggest fan. I tried to get back into, like, when they were coming out with Winnie the Pooh 1, I was getting a little like, oh, cool, we're doing something with these, childhood, movies. I was like, okay, let's do something here. And that movie was fucking awful. It was dog shit. And I thought, all right, whatever. And then they came out with the second one, and it had a little bit of promise to it. The trailer looked better. They gave Pooh and Tigger and everybody practical suits, and it actually looked a little better. So I thought, okay, this can be one of those Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2 situations. I hated Terrifier 1, but loved Terrifier 2, and now I'm a fucking lifelong fan. I thought maybe the same thing was going to happen with Winnie the Pooh. I thought, well, I'm going to go see Winnie the Pooh 2. I'm actually going to enjoy this, childhood universe horror, whatever they call it, and I'm actually going to be on board. Hated that one even more. It was just slow and it was boring. Just I can go on about that movie. So I checked out after that. I was like, I don't give a fuck about this Poohniverse thing that we got going on. I don't give a shit. So I didn't check out Peterland. I didn't check out Bambi. I didn't check out any of that. But the reason why I went to go check out this one is because when they announced this one about a year or so ago, and they showed off the first look design of Pinocchio and gave a little bit of an idea of what this is about, I was like, you know what? I kind of dig that. I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm gonna give it one more shot and see if they can win me over and see if they can I get into this idea of what this Poohniverse is. So, and just the first trailer they put out looked very Child's Play-ish to me. So I was like, if you can give Child's Play to Pinocchio and do like a Child's Play Pinocchio kind of movie, I'm down for it. I'm down. And so walking into Pinocchio Unstrung, I was like, at least just give me something better than Winnie the Pooh 1 and 2. And did it deliver in that aspect? It did actually. So I'm gonna be honest, I actually kind of enjoyed this. Now, did I enjoy it because the plot was very familiar? Yes. The best way I can describe this movie is it's the 2019 Child's Play remake, but done better. Even though I already liked the Child's Play 2019 remake, this is a better version of that script. This is a better version of that take of in the 2019 Child's Play movie. It was this robotic doll called Buddy who really befriended Andy and was kind of killing people in the name of Andy to be like, I'm your best buddy. This is kind of the same idea. At least majority of the movie has that exact same plot. Then they get you with a little bit of a third act twist, but for a majority of the movie, that's what it is. It's Pinocchio killing people in honor of this little boy James, which is like I will say one thing I like about all of these Pooh universe movies that I've seen. They have a really cool opening. This movie opens up with a little like paper mache kind of shadow puppet opening, and I like that. I like how they did it with the Winnie the Pooh movies as well. How they all them little animated drawing kind of openings. I dug that. I thought that was cool. So I liked it, of course, when they did it here in Pinocchio. So the story is basically like you got Pinocchio, who is made by Geppetto, but in this fictional universe, there's a little kid James that Geppetto befriends, or not really befriends, but kind of like his parents died and his other best friend died, and so he kind of takes him in and raises him, and so he makes him Pinocchio as like, hey, you've lost a lot of things. Here's a gift that you'll never lose. He'll be your best friend for life, and all that shit. So it was one of those where I'm like, okay, this is very Child's Play in the same way the original and the remake was, where it was, be friends with this doll. And the one thing I will give it positive for, because it has such a familiar plot, I dug it for that. Again, is it because of the fact that I dug it, because of the fact that it has a familiar plot? Absolutely. But it's also kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of one of those formula situations where the Winnie the Pooh movies were they were doing a formula to a certain degree, but they were just doing a really bad version of that formula. At least with Pinocchio, it's a familiar formula that we're used to, so they stick to that, but then they add some things to it that kind of changes the formula up a little bit. And I didn't mind those changes. I didn't mind those changes. Let's get on to the reason why we're here in the first place. The kills, the practical effects are actually done better here than they have been in the two Winnie the Pooh movies. I can't speak for Peter Pan. I can't speak for Bambi. I can't speak if those movies have good practical effects or if those are even good movies. I didn't watch them. I can only base this off of the two Pooh movies that I've seen. And in terms of practical effects, this one has the most. I've been seeing people online be like, this movie's fucking gory as hell. It puts Terrifier to shame. No, it's not that gory. It has some gory moments involving some teeth and eyelids and shit. They definitely have some kills where I had to go, ugh, ugh. But Not anything to the level of Terrifier, in my opinion, but the practical effects are really good here, especially all the puppetry work with Pinocchio and some of the other people. I do wish, and I understand why, because he's a CGI character. I do wish Jiminy Cricket was also practical effect, which we'll get into him in a second. But I do wish he was a little bit of a practical effect because he was just mainly a CGI character. But he didn't look bad. I mean, the CG was better than there was in the two Pooh movies, so I'll give you that. So yeah, the practical effects here were great, honestly. Like, and I'm not saying they're outstanding, but they're just really good practical effects. I love the puppetry with all the characters. Even again, some of the gore kills. I thought that's the one thing I'll give this movie credit for. It had some creative kills with Pinocchio, where the two Pooh movies, I thought you have Pooh do some unique kills with the characters. I mean, you could have had a really cool unique kill with Tigger, or a really cool unique kill with the owl or Pooh or something, and they were all just basic like slasher level kills of stabbing, beheading, cutting, blah blah blah. Where with Pinocchio, I'll give him credit. They actually had creative kills with Pinocchio. There was one kill involving his nose, where because when Pinocchio lies, his nose goes longer. That actually became a really cool, unique kill in the movie. And they had moments like that. Again, you still had your slasher trope of like, I'm gonna cut this person, or I'm gonna stab this person, or I'm gonna behead this. Like, you still had your classic slasher tropes, but they at least had unique kills in the movie that were memorable. Where I can't tell you dick about the kills in the first two Winnie the Pooh movies if they were memorable or not. I'm just like, yep, seen it before. Where this one at least had unique kills, so I'll give it that. Um, I also will say too, just to give a little bit of a shine to the child actors. Again, child actors can be hit or miss. Some of them can be great, some of them could be awful. The child actors that were in the Winnie the Pooh movies were not the greatest, not at all. Where at least here they're passable. Again, the main one, James, he's the one that I'm like gravitated towards the most, and he's not that bad of an actor. The other kids in their hand, not so much. The girl character, I thought she was fine for what she had. She wasn't really that much of a memorable character, but his little chatty yatty little annoying sidekick, I didn't like him at all. I thought he was annoying. So I'm glad I'm glad with whatever happened to his character happened to his character, because fuck that guy. He was annoying as shit. Again, he's a child actor, but he was annoying as shit. Um, the other thing I also give a praise to, and that was one thing that's also excited me about this movie, is you're getting some horror people in the industry. This isn't just I grabbed a dude from S Smart and pulled him out and said, "Hey man, you want to be in a movie?" This was we're gonna get some talent here. Put in some horror legends like Robert Englund and Richard Brake. Which again, Richard Brake, I know him from mainly Rob Zombie movies. He was the guy that did
Fuck! 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 Wow.
that over and over again. And of course, Robert Englund's Freddy. So it's like, you know what? You have some horror legends here. And to start with Robert Englund, I think he was great in this movie. I mean, he's never been a bad actor, in my opinion. I haven't really seen like a lot of his work outside of Freddy, but I've seen enough to know he's a good actor. The one thing I will say, that him as Jiminy Cricket, he has the voice and he has like the little like creepy persona, almost Freddy type. The one problem that I have is they kept on the nose, no pun intended, they kept being right too on the nose about he was Freddy. So they give him a lot of Freddy lines, or they give him a lot of Freddy things, and I'm like, I get it. You casted the dude as Freddy, but you don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Meaning, like, their favorite word with Jiminy Cricket in this movie is bitch. So every time he wants to do something, he's always like, let's get this bitch, Pinocchio. Let's slash that bitch, Pinocchio. It's like, I get it. That dude was Freddy before him, but does he need to say bitch every single time he talks? Like, it got a little bit of annoying after a while. It's like, okay, I get it, Robert Englund, and that's his little, welcome to prime time, bitch, and you're in my world, bitch. And like, I get that was his thing as Freddy, but this ain't Freddy. This is Jiminy Cricket. So I wish they would have had a little more like scale back the whole Freddy homage, scale back the whole, on the nose about the Freddy references, scale that back a little bit, because that was just a little too. I get it, a little too much. But outside of that, I thought he was good as Jiminy Cricket. I liked his performance. Richard Brooke as Geppetto. I thought he was great. I mean, I'm not gonna say he plays the same guy in every single movie, but he plays that guy specifically, the guy that's like very menacing and very creepy and very like uneasy, very well. And he plays him well. I thought they did something really interesting with him in this specific version of Pinocchio, that I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there. I enjoy that. It's fucked up. It's brutal. I like it. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where that goes. Like, I feel like we haven't tapped the fullest of potential of what that character could be, because he could be very much like the Thanos, or like the big bad of this whole poohniverse that they're doing. So maybe his character could develop a little bit more into this big scary threat. I thought, again, he served the purpose of what he was in this movie, as just, hey, he's a really fucked up version of Geppetto. But I feel like they're going to elevate him more and become this little bit more of a big threat, which I'm down for that. I'm like, okay, I see what you're going with. I see what you're going with. So, but yeah, all in all, I thought this movie was actually pretty good. Like, is it the best that the Poohniverse ever put out? No, I still feel like there's a movie in this universe somewhere that's waiting to sweep me off my feet. That's making me go, oh, okay, I'm on board now. This movie ain't quite it like I thought it was gonna be. It's getting there. It's teetering on the line of I'm really getting into this. This is kind of cool, but we're not there yet with sweeping me off my feet. And I'm a Poohniverse fan. Yay! Not there yet, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So again, maybe I'm late to the party. Maybe they've already done that, and I just haven't seen Bambi or I haven't seen Peter Pan to be like, oh, I'm a lifelong fan now. Maybe it hasn't had that effect on me yet because I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in on like the fifth movie of this 5 movie franchise, and I've only seen the first two. So maybe. But I mean, you guys let me know down below. Should I watch Peter Pan? Should I watch Bambi? Are they actually pretty decent? Because again, I checked out after Winnie the Pooh 1 and 2. I was like, nope, I'm done. So I'm not gonna say this one brought me in fully, but you got my attention. You got my attention. And if you keep it practical and you keep it, actually a decent story, not just, hey, that's some redneck dude at a fucking, Sam's Club. I pulled him out of the toilet paper aisle. Can you put on this Winnie the Pooh mask? None of that shit. Do stuff like this where it's like almost like an absolute take. Maybe because I'm reading absolute comics right now, but like almost like an absolute take on these characters. That's what I want. I don't want this like, let's try to be dark and gritty. Let's try to be, kind of serious. Like, no, let's lean into the fantastical. Let's lean into the weird and the kooky. Let's lean into that shit. That's what I loved about Screamboat that came out last year with David Howard Thornton. They didn't mind leaning into the silly. Like, this movie's not supposed to be serious. Let's lean into that. And I think this movie did a good enough job. It still had its serious moments of being like, hey, this is, we're trying to do like a, Del Toro's Pinocchio kind of thing. Like, no, let's not do all that shit. We know what we're here for. We're here for Pinocchio fucking some people up. And I had fun with it. So, yeah. That's my opinion on Pinocchio Unstrung. You guys leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Would love to read them. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.